Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, dear one, to our
Hi.
episode 29th. Yes, I love it. Here we are again. And as we were just talking, we would love to continue on the topic of responsibility, going in the exploration of other different layers. Because as we began to speak, we realized it is such a complex and deep topic that we could bring to so many angles. And I would love to invite you to start us up with one angle or some angles that go a bit deeper than what we already shared about responsibility, so that we may continue this super important topic for us all.
Thank you, Miruna. Thank you, beautiful sister. I was listening back to our episode yesterday and I was like, wow, like you said, we were starting and finding a way through this concept. And it was just like so exciting and fun to hear us every time we do an episode. For me, it's such a blessing to be sharing that in the best of our capacities, right? And our intention out there, right?
Yeah.
And for me, what came up was the more I would think about it and think about what is responsibility and how does it translate today, it had for me came up as a kind of a circle after circle. So there's different layers of responsibility as we talked about. And we said another key last time where our responsibilities will evolve and change throughout your life and throughout your seasons. And for me, the way I see it and depict it is like if the center, which is your well-being, we talked about that, your
Yeah.
well-being with a big W, and then the next circle surrounding that would be your next direct environment, right? So it would be,
Right.
your interaction you have every day, your families, your sibling, your close friends. Then the next circle would be acquaintances or something that you would have interactions with. So perhaps your job, environment, whatever that takes space and importance in your life. So your circles can be very different from one person to another. And your last circle would be perhaps your citizen, right? You're citizen of your city, of a bigger neighborhood, right? And then eventually citizen of the world, of the society that we find ourselves in, right?
Right.
The reason why I say that our circles is related to other human beings, or it could also be with environments and nature, is an interaction. So I think a key word here would be that your responsibility will be linked to an interactions of something or someone. But the most important one that we need to more focus on, I believe, in nowadays and in this today's society is the responsibility of oneself, of your well-being with a big W. Because what I've experienced personally is the more I healed and grown for the last years, the more I was able to support other responsibilities towards others. So let's say before in my old self, I would be so stressed and pressured, and I would feel so depleted energetically that I couldn't even fathom to be there for my family. You know, people would say, yeah, but you're still being there for them, Macy. You still spend some dinners, Christmas, right? But I wasn't fully present for them in my whole heart and body because I was so depleted. So I was just doing it out of chore, out of task. I wouldn't reach out with my friends as much. I wouldn't be fully energetically positive and be with them. I wouldn't, be tidy at home. I wouldn't have a um positive, intuitive eating. I would eat and I would a lot I would soothe eat. So I would eat a lot to soothe my stress. So I would binge eat chips, for example. That was my go-to,
Mm.
a lot of snacks that would not serve me, so a lot of my spheres in my life were very in low standards and low quality of hygiene per se, because I was not taking care of myself first. So the responsibility I had towards myself was being neglected. And I was trying to just surf into life the best I could. And I was trying to respond to responsibility towards the basic responsibility. Okay, I need to show up at work. Oh, I need to show up to my dinner at family. So those was like basic requirements,
Minimum, right?
minimal
Yeah.
requirements. And I would say, yeah, I'm respecting my responsibility. But guys, if you want to go to your next level in life, it all starts within. So for me, the responsibility of oneself, starting in a small circle for you, is caring for your physical needs, your emotional needs, your spiritual needs, and that creates all
Mm.
of the
Mm.
harmony for you. So it is your responsibility to feel happy and well in your well-being, and to feel energetic, well rested, not stressed, or it's okay to have stress, but in overall, what is your state? And the more you're going to owe that to yourself in all of this, the more you're going to be able to provide better support and promise and not over under deliver, right? You're going to say, okay, I'm going to be there for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to recharge for some friends. I'm going to make sure that my house is tidy. I'm going to do my little cleaning chores. I'm going to be present for some voluntary work in my city or in my neighborhood. I'm going to be
Yeah.
more and more present in the heart and in the mind for other spheres in my life, because I will be taking care of myself first.
I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm going to stop
I
there.
love that so much. Wow, dearest one. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. It was so visual and so well structured, actually, in the flow, but so well structured. I love that you brought us back to our own. I love how you started from one and then went to the macro, and then we came back to the micro, to the one, and to really reaffirm this importance. I totally resonate with that. I think it's such a missed core. I see it as a core, right? Like let's say as a
Mm.
our PCs or our they have cores, right? Mine is Intel Core i3, so they have like the core processing. Anyway, I'm not gonna get too technical, but it's such a basis, but the basis doesn't have to be minimal. I absolutely love how you made that distinction when you realized in your own experience that you were, let's just say, you were present physically, but spiritually and emotionally you weren't always as present as you are today, right? Because well, since ever since I've known you, you have such a deep full presence, that it's so rich and light and creative and all these beautiful things, that it's so palpable and so such a blessing, right? To be in your presence with you. So I can definitely sense how deep and rich this, I want to call it work, this just experience and growth has been, and I can attest to it. And I would love to just express congratulations, and I so admire you for that. I think it's such an inspiration for your family, for your friends, and your community. I was not expecting to say all this to you, but I think it's important, and I want to name it. It's really amazing. It's not everyone who takes so much time to introspect, to work on themselves, to better themselves, to become more loving, to care so much more than before. I know it's hours and hours and hours of caring, much further and deeper for others and for yourself. And I
Oh,
totally, I know, I don't know. It's like it's coming. I just have to say it.
of course,
Uh, it
God is
it's so
beautiful.
important to affirm that. And it's so important to take a moment and affirm that, to not take it for granted. And I know sometimes people take us for granted. They don't see these an invisible time, even when we are not in prayer or walking or taking the bus or going to work, to just truly, so faithfully deepen our presence as human beings on the levels of spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, environmental existence. It's such a complex, layered existence. And yeah, I know how many hours and hours and hours. I mean, I imagine, I don't know, you have spent on that. I can definitely say I understand and resonate with so much dedication, continuous dedication to widen this responsibility. In my case, it was a very clear responsibility and focus on spiritual and emotional. And as I was sharing with you right before we started filming, now it's becoming more also material and financial. You see, because some people are very on cue on this is what I'm responsible for, bringing money, food on the table, money, food, shelter, right? Very material, very uh, tangible, right?
Mhm.
Whereas there are some people that are very clear, and I was one of those, that there's a spiritual, emotional responsibility that is such a deep, of such great importance. But then again, it's a spectrum of responsibility, and they're all important. They all have a space and a place. And I don't know what came. I mean, I think it's just the spirit that came to me through me. This is
Yes,
what I
girl, I can feel
sense
it.
because
Oh my God.
I was tearing up to name and to value this people like us. I know there's so many of them, to not diminish and underestimate their importance. But the fact that we value spiritual emotional responsibility does not mean that we do not value or we ignore or we diminish financial and material responsibilities that people give importance to. I think in a ideal world, we would all with our specialties, with our special focuses, with our designs would come together, just like kind of like a heart,
The heart.
like 2 years coming, come together to cherish, value, and learn from each other and give space and value to everything. Just like when Jesus said, give to Caesar what is due to Caesar and give to your God what is due to your God. He didn't say, forget about Caesar, we don't care. Just focus on God. He didn't say, well, who cares about God? Let's just focus on Caesar. No, there is a space and a place for us all.
Mm.
But personally, it just came the importance to value dedication, time to a deeper responsibility, an invisible responsibility that is seldomly cherished and affirmed. So since it came, well, I was not expecting it. Yeah, okay. That just went somewhere where you didn't know it was going to go.
Oh, what a blessing, girl. I love it. This is what makes it so beautiful, our episodes, because it's just unedited.
Surprise.
And it's just a surprise. Like, it's just literally sometimes there's a flow coming out. And oh my gosh, you really touched my soul and me, actually. I really did not expect that. This wave of so much love and recognition, Miruna, linking that with responsibility, it's amazing. And thank you. Thank
We thank
us.
our
I
Holy
was
Spirit.
exactly, I was saying that you were probably the vessel, and it's just like
Yeah, it was just,
it was just so beautiful.
yeah.
beautiful sign, you know, that we must keep going. Because the hardest time is gonna come along for everyone around us, ourselves, and there is going to be challenging time in those modern times. And we will be there steadfast more than ever because all of this
Yes.
preparation and hours you said we put in was exactly for those challenging times, Miruna. So all of it
Yes.
makes sense, you know? So to come back to responsibility, I think when you go into your introspection and you meditate on it, your responsibilities will make more sense. It will come up to you. It will give you a sense of what is your role into your family, into your society, and most importantly, well, we were saying into us, but in different spheres
Yeah.
of life, but for yourself. I think that if you focus at least to attend to your basic needs, which is the emotional, spiritual. I'm not asking you to go full out on emotionals, full out on spiritual, full out on money.
Mhm. Yeah.
Find a balance, a harmony. And like Macy, what is it? Practice it. Try it out. You owe it to yourself.
Yes.
Try
Taking the time to value
taking the
it
time.
all. Yeah.
Value it all. So if you start doing those basic things and find a balance for yourself, then all this energy is gonna come out and you're gonna embody
Yes.
more energy, and that's gonna allow you to respect your promises and honor all the responsibilities. Because at the end of the day, I think each one of us wants to contribute to this life. We have this yearning to like what trace we want to leave. We want to be part of something bigger than us. We're being inspired. You know, look at all those leaders that we've seen in the past in their history.
Yeah.
And they brought in and mobilized so many people. They were inspired. They did not do that for their own well-being only. They did not do that for money. They did not do that for um the health or the direct family. They did that for a bigger cause than themselves. So each one of
Yes.
us is being called to mobilize for something bigger than us. And it may seems like it's different missions. Like one is like helping children being abused, one is perhaps peace on the earth, one is just helping the neighborhood to have a better community, one is for us to heal others around us.
Totally.
It's all connected. It's all
Totally.
connected,
Totally.
guys. But for you to carry on something bigger than you have to build this responsibility, to practice this responsibility of having a steadfast foundation
Yes.
so you can
Yes.
carry it on. Because I'm telling you by experience, if you keep carrying something that's bigger than you, but you're not energized and strong in carrying your own responsibility and your own needs,
You're not gonna make it.
you're
Yeah.
not gonna make it. It's gonna fall apart eventually, and you're gonna start blaming other causes around you,
Yeah.
blaming like, oh well, the system doesn't work, blaming the structure of whatever organization you're in,
Yes. Yes.
and it comes back to you. It comes back to you to know what you need to do to feel energized, focused, hopeful, connected, so you can carry on. So you can be the leader that each one of us has.
Yes. I love that so much. I love that so much. And it's so, you were speaking, and I had a visual of combined responsibility in a project. I'm, I'm volunteering at the gardens, community gardens, and it just so happens that we have the infrastructure, right? It's just a street. We came together, we brought all the plants, and now we work harder to, take out the earth. So it's labor, right? It's a lot of work for the autumn period. And every time we go to the garden, we focus, yes, on plants and the citizens that will come to feed, sustainability and ecology. And we had workshops on what plants go together, etc., right? But every single time we created relationships and we had communications about what doesn't work so well, uh, it, within just spontaneous, emotional, or even spiritual conversations that we have. So it's like, how should I put this? Everything has a place. Just like we need infrastructures or places to gather and food to eat, we need to understand that the spectrum of responsibility and needs goes further than material, and it goes into emotional, and it goes into spiritual, and it goes into relational. And finally, kind of like the glue that holds it all together is love. Love. Whatever need people, when they're hungry, when you look at them, it's but with love that you're like, oh my God, this person needs food, right? You're not gonna tell them, well, I'm gonna pray. Maybe you're gonna pray and give them food. One does not exclude the other. But it's time, I think, when we take our time to understand our full spectrum of responsibility, to look at all the layers, because as you say, what is to come will be more difficult. And if we do not look at this huge chunk of emotional spiritual well-being, it's not going to go well for the ones who ignore it. So that's why we're taking the time, and we've taken all the time since the beginning of the year almost, to talk about all the important topics and to look at these angles, so that we may together take our time and acknowledge and view the full. I don't know why this full spectrum is coming back. It's the third time that I'm hearing full spectrum. It's as if this is a part of reality. This is a part, this like a circle is not complete
Mhm.
if you don't look at all the pie, you know, pieces.
I love it.
So just like a pie, just like a wheel of life, just like the areas of your life, you cannot continuously ignore chunks of what is also a basis and
Mhm.
something of most importance in times of chaos or economic distress. So I really, my wholehearted energy goes to come back together, bring it all together, listen to each other. May all people come together with all their strengths and specific design specialties, so that then that's how we're going to make it through
I feel
in the
like
best way.
I love it so much because I feel like this responsibility topic is just opening up for so many other things that's gonna just close up everything. Because when you were talking about the full spectrum, for me, as I dive into my spiritual awakening even more and my progress and my and everything that connects to all the needs that makes you steadfast in your positioning and your foundation, you start seeing the world and your life into a great scope actually. Everything becomes clearer and everything becomes like a bigger picture. So you understand what's your role in it, but you understand everything how it connects. So for you, for me, it becomes like clear where stands the responsibilities, where stands the roles, and what can you actually carry on at that moment, and how it's not overwhelming anymore because you understand that
Mm-hmm.
you're not alone, and you understand
Mm-hmm.
that you are one consciousness and everything is connected. So for some people, when you hear us talk about the whole spectrum of every little tiny role we can have in different the layers, it can be overwhelming, but we're here to tell you that it's not, it doesn't have to. And you mentioned the glue, divine love is actually the glue for it all. And that's exactly it, guys. That's the key. And I feel like I cannot wait to talk about surrender. But the key
Yes.
for me was, I hope that internet, okay, sorry, it
Yes,
buffers.
it's yeah, I can hear
I,
you. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
I hope that, yeah. So for me, divine love was actually the key for everything. It allowed me to have discernment. It allowed me to have a foundation. It allowed me to find back my identity. And all of those things allowed me to know where my responsibility lies. It became clear. So I want to invite you guys, because I know time is passing here, by doing this introspection, by carrying on those basic needs, if you've been neglecting them, for example, you will gain clarity on what are your roles and what are your responsibilities. And I want you to remember to reassess them, right? And some key things, as you were talking, it inspired me to say that you can question yourself about what is my responsibilities, Missy, would be what are your priorities right now in your life? Right now, because it can change over time. What are you good at? What you're passionate about? Because some people I see that they're driven for certain things in life, means
Mm-hmm.
human beings, right? Other people in nature, environment, kids,
Mm-hmm.
animals, whatever comes out to you. What calls you out? What is your passion? What do you feel driven to do and contribute to? That can be a second clue to know where your responsibility lies, you know? And three, what gives you energy? What drives your energy in? Because if you don't do things on a regular basis that gives you energy, then you're calling yourself for a long run in your life that's going to be depleting. You know what I mean? So you've got to give
Yes.
yourself that, because we're a body at the end. We have physical limitations here, and you've got to give yourself this change if you want to carry on with all the responsibility of the whole spectrum. So
Oh,
those
yes.
would be those three clues to help you out define your responsibilities, perhaps.
I love that. I love that. And I hope everybody takes your invitation. Take just a moment of introspection to answer these questions. Take a deep breath and really allow the answers to come. I am so happy that, of course, divine love is back and that you touched upon surrender. I think we're really going that way, and that will be the la boucle, right? The I don't
Well,
know.
it closes a book, but then another book opens up.
Yes, it's. I mean, this is exactly how this basically, the Fibonacci creation. It's an endless, continuous spiral. Uh, it was such an amazing conversation, very inspiring in terms of what came through. As always, such a blessing. I look forward to our continuation
And thank you for
in the next one.
inspiration always, Miruna. Thank you for sharing. It was beautiful. It was very aligned. I could feel it. It was
I
so
mean, I
beautiful.
I had teary eyes. Yeah, it was very palpable, and again, thank you for the Holy Spirit that is always with us. It's clear that this is what is guiding us and comes through us. I love as much our conversations on camera as I love the ones we have before every single episode. I cannot wait for the next one. I thank everybody so much. I hope they are also inspired and that they open their hearts to receive what is for them to
Exactly.
receive.
And know that you're not alone. This is the purpose of sharing all of that in our episodes, so you can know that if we can do it and we keep doing it and we keep unfolding things and learning, you can also, and that you're safe doing it. That there's so much more that what we've been told to do in this life and to be, actually much
Beautiful.
more to be and embody. And once you're gonna taste that, just a chunk of it, guys, you cannot go back. It's gonna fulfill you in a way that you've never been fulfilled before, that materialistic things could not fulfill. So yeah, we invite you and encourage you to dive deeper into within, to embody this love, to introspect, and to find your identity among all of that. It's beautiful, really. It's worth it.
Thank you so much for the sharing. So everyone, will see you next in the next episode.
Bye.
And thank you, dearest one, so much for your deep presence. Really, really a blessing for myself and for many around you.
You too. really.
Thank you, dear one. Thank you.
Yeah.